At the weekend, they're in action against Las Palmas tomorrow. Now, speaking ahead of that game, Carlo Ancelotti felt that he needed to defend his tactics and coaching style, and saying the mistake that the new generation of managers makes, that they give too much information to their players for when they have the ball. And I, who am from the old school, give more freedom to creativity. If they want to open up and attack from the wing, I'm never going to let them not go out wide, because it's about interpretation. The more creative they are, the less instructions they need. The less creative players you give them, more instructions. I don't want to diminish everyone's creativity. Does that make sense? Keep it simple, Stevie?
100%. Could not agree more. I have to laugh. You know, when we sit and watch the Premier League, and two managers in particular, Guardiola and Mikel Arteta, particularly when they're bringing subs on, and they've got a hold of the guy, and the guy's coming on, and they're chewing their ear off.
Guardiola's the most successful coach in the world.
And not they're chewing their ear off. They must remember when they were players. Players coming on as a substitute are not listening to a word you're telling them.
But it works for Pep, doesn't it?
Well, I'm telling you that 99% out of 100 players coming on are not listening to a word, whether it's Pep or anybody else, whether it's the Premier League or the fourth division. So that one in particular gets right up my nose.
Right.
They must be listening to Pep, because they're coming on.
There is no way in a million years that they don't shut down when he's halfway through. There's not a chance.
By the way, I think we've shut down now.
There's not a chance that they're all sitting like this, as if it's a school teacher, 24/7.
They must be, surely.
Oh, come on.
As if not, you're out.
Come on, no, I'm not having that. I'm with him 100%. Defensively, 100%. You're telling people get in, get back, close the ball, whatever. But when you're going forward, I mean, come on. How long? If I'm standing on the right wing and I've got Pep Guardiola behind me talking me through what I'm supposed to be doing, eventually, as De Bruyne did during the game, told them to shut it.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm 100% with Ancelotti.
Wait, what's this all? I mean,
it's after what happened at the weekend.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with what happened at the weekend? His team were dishevelled.
But he's been blamed for the way he's set up, playing Jude Bellingham too high, Modric and Kroos in midfield.
And rightly so. And rightly so. I mean, I think we all agree Ancelotti is
he's not bad.
He's a very good manager who does do it at arm's length, and there is nothing wrong with that. No, I don't think anybody's criticising that. But he got his team completely wrong. I mean, in the first half, he had Toni Kroos playing on the left-hand side of a diamond, Camavinga in the middle. And he, by the way, you could tell Fran Garcia 90 minutes every week how to defend the back post, and he can't do it. He can't do it. So they didn't defend crosses in the box. They didn't dominate the middle of the park. They had legs in the middle of the park because they had Kroos and they had Modric. They got stretched by the wing-backs, and Jude Bellingham was pretty ineffective trying to support Rodrigo, who was poor. That's nothing to do with what you tell and don't tell players. He just set his team up poorly, and Simeone exploited it.
Did he bring this up, or did somebody ask?
I'm sure, Alex, this has been a week is a long time in football, 24 hours, a long time in Spanish media coverage as well, from a team that's gone perfect, Carlo Ancelotti, who doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not forget that Madrid had won every game going into the Madrid derby. But yes, those wins, they've been tight wins, they've been narrow wins, they've been often late goals needed from Jude Bellingham to win those games. So there were some signs already there that there were some potential issues with this team. We've talked about the issues with the squad as well, the fact that they've only got Jose Luis, the only centre-forward in the squad, and Ancelotti clearly doesn't really trust him because didn't pick him to start this game. As I say, they've been over-reliant on Bellingham. And the system, Ancelotti says he's sticking with his midfield diamonds. He believes in it. He admitted in that press conference today, he said, look, every system has its pros and its cons. That goes for 4-4-2, that goes for 5-3-2, it goes for the midfield diamond. He says the good thing about the midfield diamond is it helps us pressing the forwards, in particular, the two forwards can press the centre-backs, and that's good. What's the big con is that it exposes your full-backs, and it can mean that if you get hit on the break, midfielders don't have time to get back to help the defence, and that's what happened with one or two of the Atletico goals at the weekend. So Ancelotti, as always, he's very open, he's very honest, he's perfectly happy to talk about all these tactical ideas in a way that a lot of coaches aren't, which I very much appreciate. But there's been a lot of criticism for Ancelotti over the last couple of days since this game. But look, he says, look, I can take it. It comes with the territory.
Well, they'll be in Brazil soon anyway. So
If you're Ancelotti, wouldn't you just like put all your trophies out at the front of the press conference and go, these were all lucky? Yeah, that was it.
Well, but that's then and this is now.
What do you mean this is now? He's perfect until.
But well, they've hardly played brilliantly.
No, I know, but if you're a journalist and you're asking Carlo Ancelotti
but hold on. But I think it's up to ask a question. When Ancelotti's talking about pressing and this diamond helps me press better, how can you press properly with Luka Modric and Toni Kroos on your side? What, you're going to press without them? Doesn't make sense, does it?
And I think Ancelotti's biggest mistake over the weekend, while I agree that starting Toni Kroos and Luka Modric doesn't make any sense, and certainly in this diamond formation because there's no protection for them and they're not going to press, so that argument loses a whole lot of value, is the fact that the one player that has been outstanding for you, the one guy that you have feature in this diamond formation, the one guy that you say, you know what, that's the guy. Jude Bellingham, you take him out of the position. You remove him from the place in which he has been most successful. And so not only are you exposing yourself with the lack of legs, now you're saying to the guy who has been outstanding for you, you know, this is a master plan here. We're going to put you up top. What about his presence? And he got lost in the shuffle. He got lost in spaces, and he was not nearly as impactful, not nearly as dynamic, because he was sort of trying to find the game in areas in which he doesn't feel comfortable. That's the truth. He wasn't appearing late in the box. He was up there with Rodrigo, trying to hang out with Rodrigo. Try to hang out with Rodrigo when Rodrigo is going left, right, center, and everywhere else. There is no connection there. If you're going to play with a second striker, there's got to be connection. There was never a connection. And then through the midfield, they were exposed in every transition possible.
To be fair, what chance you got when you get it wrong once? Because everybody gets it wrong, right? Even Ancelotti's.
I thought you were going to say even you.
No,
Well.
No, steady. Don't be silly. And you're getting this kind of
Yeah, exactly.
treatment.
So Carlo Ancelotti on the brink of being sacked at Real Madrid after that defeat.
What?
Xabi Alonso is the favourite to take over, a man, of course, who knows Real Madrid well. He's exceeded expectations at Bayer Leverkusen as well. Have we got the quote from Ancelotti on this? Ancelotti was asked about potential managers, which included Xabi Alonso. He brought up Arbeloa, and he brought up Raul as well, Alex. This is snowballing very quickly.
I love the way that Ancelotti dealt with this. He was literally asked in the press conference, do you think you should be replaced by Xabi Alonso? And he was really quite polite in his answer and praised Xabi Alonso, which not a lot of managers would do, I think. But look, this link is not new. This is something we've reported for ESPN previously, that Xabi Alonso is the sort of the leading contender, the favourite to take over from Carlo Ancelotti, whenever that may be. Is it next summer? Is it any sooner? This is a guy that the club have been watching for a long time. They know him well, of course. He was a Real Madrid player for 5 years. He started out his coaching career in the Real Madrid Academy, I think coaching the under-14s before he moved on to Real Sociedad B and now Bayer Leverkusen. They are watching him. It's no surprise that Xabi Alonso is turning out to be a great manager. I think, there aren't many sure things in football, but everyone knew that Xabi Alonso was going to be a fantastic manager because of the way that he looks at the game, talks about the game, the fact that this is a guy who played for some of the best managers of the modern era in Rafa Benitez, Jose Mourinho, Ancelotti himself twice, Pep Guardiola as well. So, look, like I say, he's the favourite. That's not to say it's going to happen tomorrow or this week or next week. But when the time comes, the logical time, of course, would be next summer with those Brazil links for Ancelotti. And at that point, the feeling here is that Xabi Alonso will be ready, because there was still a feeling this summer just gone that maybe the Real Madrid job would have come a little bit too soon for him. Remember, he'd only just finished his first season at Bayer Leverkusen, where he took them from sort of the relegation battle up to the European places. But I mean, right now, he's got Leverkusen level on points with Bayern at the top of the Bundesliga table. And at the end of this season right now, next summer, that may well be the time for that change to come. And like I say, of course, things change in football, but right now, he's the number one candidate for that job.